I feel like back then it was like, what can I get? Can I get a husband? Can I get a father for my future kids? Can I have the family that I wanted? It was just sort of about, what I could get out of it in a genuine way. I mean, I was totally in love with him, but there was just that sense that there's going to be this, kind of transaction. And now it's just more like, what can I get? What does he need? How can I support him? And that just changes, once you have kids too. It's just like constantly giving till there's nothing left to give. We got married in the Catholic Church and we had premarital counseling as a priest. And I remember him saying, don't keep score. Don't keep score. It's never about balance. That just always stuck with me.
The year was 1997. It was my first day in graduate school at San Diego State University, and I walk into my GTA meeting, my graduate teaching assistant meeting, and the first thing I see is this beautiful blonde woman with this gorgeous smile. And little did I know that girl would become my wife. Welcome back, everyone. This is Todd Durkin, and this is the Impact Show. And today, we're celebrating something very, very special. Yes, this is my week of my 25th wedding anniversary. Oh, my goodness. Little did I know that, man, that back in 1997, I'd be getting married to Melanie. And on February 17th, 2001, Melanie and I got married here in San Diego in front of about 200 guests. It was a great, great day. And I think here on February 17th, 2026, 25 years later, all that has happened between the good and the bad and the wins and the losses, the tough times and the great times, because there have been so many. And man, I'm just so grateful and so thankful that we have an incredible community just like you listening in today. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do on today's podcast, at the very end, I'm going to share some of my top memories of 25 years of marriage. 25 years of marriage. Man, in today's day, that's no small feat. So I just want to tip my hat to Melanie and when you're married for any length of time, it takes a commitment, and there's good times and there's bad times, right? And I'll say this, in the last 5+ years, since 2020, I've never been more in love with my wife, Melanie, and what she has stood for, because as I have shared very openly with everyone on this podcast, there's been some tough times during the pandemic between surgeries and a major back issue and everything that I went through professionally and personally. And the one force I had behind me and beside me the entire time, encouraging me and lifting me up, was my wife, Melanie. And I'm so grateful. And this is going to be a special, special episode. As a matter of fact, what we did is this. As you know, we had our Montana retreat back in November 2025, and Melanie and I took the stage. And in a moment, I'm going to share part of that talk that Kelli Watson, our director of coaching and CEO of Scripter Publishing, she interviewed both Melanie and I in front of the 110 guests or so. And she did an amazing job interviewing primarily Melanie, because we want to hear Melanie talk. I was like, let Melanie talk more. I'm like, all right, I'll just shut my lips and let's go. And Melanie and Kelli did an incredible job and out there, obviously, and she asked me some questions also. But I'm going to come in at the tail end of this interview with Kelli, Melanie, and myself. And I want to share a few important, special things in regards to this. And why do I share this with you today is because so much of what I do and what we do is for this community from all over the world, literally, not just the country, but all over the world. And I always love hearing from you. And I want to thank you for all of your love and your gratitude for the Impact Show and for what was at Fitness Quest 10 for so many years. And the community that has been built at Fitness Quest 10, and so many people that we love there, too many people to mention, and for Impact X Performance and all the people that we are building now nationwide, and of course here in San Diego next month as we open up in San Diego, all of the people that are coming into our community there, because as we look to love more and inspire more and impact more, the mission is big and the dream is big, and it takes a great group of people from all over the place to make this magic happen. And I want to thank you. I hope you enjoyed today's session. It's going to be a little bit different than normal, but we're going to go out to Whitefish, Montana, the absolutely gorgeous Whitefish Lodge Inn, and Kelli Watson interviewing Miss Melanie Durkin and I right now. Here we go.
I want to start with this. You're coming up on 25 years, which is incredible. Congratulations. It's a huge feat. If you look back on those 25 years, what's one thing that has really surprised you about marriage? Melanie, I'm asking. Gosh.
Oh, shoot. You're not going to get her.
You know what? I think it sounds cliche, but it just goes so fast. And we dated for 3 years. So we've been together for 28 years. And we were friends for 1 year, just in classes together in graduate school. And so, gosh, it's just a long time of being together, really important people, the best friends, the Southsies, the Carrots, and it doesn't feel that long. It doesn't feel like it's been as long as it has. It just is kind of surreal that and just so.
Yeah, it goes so quick. You don't think that when you get married, you think 25 years sounds so far away.
So far away, you know.
Yeah, here you are. Todd, how about you? What surprised you about marriage?
Man, that's a good question. Not only how fast it goes, but how much does happen in 25 years when you stop and pause and think back on lives that were created, lives that passed before us, the deep conversation we've had on everything. I think just in a friendship that was strong from the start, I think at the deepest level, what surprised me the most is just how vulnerable and close you get with somebody when you can just open up. Because I've also been around some not good stuff as well. And I see things that I don't want to do or don't want to be as well. So what surprises me the most is sometimes there are no surprises. There's nothing, not a lot surprising these days.
Interesting. I want to go back to Melanie, though. I want to add on to that, because going back 25 years when you were doing step aerobics and he was excited about that and like what he saw and the friendship that developed, how has your definition of love changed? Like, think about what it was like when you first fell in love and what you think of love now, 25 years later. Has your definition of love changed, and how so?
Yeah, it definitely has. I feel like back then it was like, what can I get? Can I get a husband? Can I get a father for my future kids? Can I have the family that I wanted? It was just sort of about, what I could get out of it in a genuine way. I mean, I was totally in love with them, but there was just that sense that there's going to be this, kind of transaction, and now it's just more like, what can I give? What does he need? How can I support him? And that just changes, once your kids too. It's just like constantly giving till there's nothing but give.
I'm going to go.
We got married in the Catholic Church, and we had premarital counseling with the priest, and he was a wonderful priest. And I remember him saying, don't keep score. Don't keep score. It's never about balance. And you're going to feel like there may be decades where you're just giving. And then King John had died, and you're the one that, really needs to receive. And so, that just always stuck with me for sure.
That's hard to not keep score, right? I mean, in the beginning anyway, because it's natural that we keep score, and you're from the athletic background, you naturally you want to win a conversation or a fight, an argument, you want to win it. So you're stubborn sometimes. So I think back in the beginning, I think I was more stubborn in the beginning, because I wanted to win, even any disagreements. I also think it was harder in the beginning because that was, I don't know if you can relate to this or not, but the way the relationship in my mind has changed is, and this is probably bad to say, but
You'll say it. I'll say it if you say it because y'all can relate.
Like I'll just say this: when I first met Melanie, I got caught by like she's teaching step aerobics. I'm checking her out, and I'm like, "Hey, look at the calves on that girl." Right, and I'm checking out her physical features.
Big baby. Damn big.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful, and all. So but the way to answer your question, the way it's changed is, I fall more in love with her soul and her heart. Now, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, that she still looks beautiful, and her smile lights me up, and that like makes me kind of just forget about everything. When her spirit now is what speaks the most, versus back then, when you're trying to court someone or you're trying to really learn about someone, is physically you're attracted to someone, and you still are open when you get older. But for me, her spirit and soul now is how it's changed the most. And I've seen through life her evolve and grow, just like myself. We've both been committed to growth on a lot of levels because of life.
And in that regard, because love has grown deeper, it's changed, obviously. And to your point, early on in a relationship, you're keeping score and it's winning and losing and that kind of feeling. So you've learned some things through those 25 years about how to handle those problems, how to handle those seasons when things are not quite as connected, hopefully not decades, but certainly we all go through seasons where the relationship is not as strong. And we also have the disagreements and we have to learn how to get through them. What have you learned, Melanie? I'm going to ask you, what have you learned about getting through those tough conversations, and what could you share as maybe some habits or practices that have helped you stay connected even during those tough seasons?
Well, we have raised 3 athletes, and Todd's and I, they always like to tease me. I was a cheerleader, and that doesn't quite cut it in the Durkin household for being fat, and no one wants to hear anything that mom has to say about athletics. But I will actually take a lot of credit for those kids, and I do. I do know how to talk to them, and we just say, short memory. Like you say that a lot at our house. Like, have a short memory and thick skin, and just keep moving. And I think it's a we'll do that together. Like, just forget about it. And just was so frustrated. Neither one of us like confrontation, and I hate staying mad. If we're mad at each other, it'll be one day. I know, but I get really mad for one day, but then I'm like, I gotta let it go. I'm done. I'm over. I just cannot let it fester and, continue for, days or weeks or whatever. I couldn't do that. So I think we're good about just drop it, put a period after that, and move on.
Sure, it's, depending on your background and how you grew up, for me, again, I have 7 brothers and sisters, and coming from a large family and being the youngest, my mom and dad were in the middle of a nasty divorce when I was 5. I hated dissension. I remember seeing police cars pull up to my house, and I'm 5 years old. I don't like dissension. I don't like fighting. I'm the peacemaker. I don't like dissension on the TDE team, in the master. I don't like any dissension. I'm a peacemaker because I think it stems back from childhood. Like, everything's got to be simpatico. I don't like when there's not harmony, back to the harmony word, in the family, especially with Melanie, when there's not harmony. It's a very uncomfortable feeling for me. I don't like it. I'll do anything to get back to harmony. Sometimes disharmony is productive, but I don't like it because it stems back to childhood stuff, that being the youngest of 8 kids and the run of the litter, it's all the way now here in my early 50s, or almost mid 50s here, to how I am as a father and as a husband as well.
And so luckily there aren't too many of those times, and you can get through them with a short memory, and you can find that harmony again. But Melanie, what about all the good times? What are some of the small, consistent actions that you take or you think Todd takes that really help keep you strong and make those uncomfortable times less? What are those consistent habits or small things that you do for each other?
We met in a kinesiology program, and we were both big time into working out, teaching it and coaching. And when we dated, we exercised so much together. Remember around Hillers, she got her, I mean, this workout. I think that, and I'm actually proud of a family full of addicts. And thankfully, my addiction is exercise. That's been a really good thing. And it is. It's the natural antidepressant. It's my release. It's next to faith and prayer, it's my everything. And so I think it's just been a good thing for both of us. It's a common denominator that we share. We made careers out of it. We spread it. We, thank goodness the kids, caught the bug too. And so.
I love when we go on our walks together because we do our deepest talking when we're walking. And I love when we're driving together because we do some of our deepest conversations when we're driving. Not 5 minutes, but if we're going somewhere that's an hour or so, I love driving with her because that's when our deeper conversations happen. They typically don't just happen around the house, having a deep conversations when we're moving on that. So I've come to really enjoy those times, and we have built more time in for just walking because we're moving and doing something productive as well. So I would say on those two things.
And you just mentioned faith, and I know that's a big element of both of your lives. Can you speak to how you've used faith to help strengthen your relationship?
Well, we're both super committed people. We definitely are. We'll stick with something. We'll commit to it. We always was always a common denominator when we were dating. We were kind of evenly yoked in our faith, and that's been just a blessing. I mean, it's everything. It's I can't imagine not having that connection and being able to pray together and go to church together and just trust each other on that level that, our morals are aligned. And, I mean, I went to Catholic school for 12 years. So sin and guilt and all of that it's all built in, and it's not necessarily a totally bad thing, but we do now go to a non-denominational church and I split time. I kind of do both. And it's just the fabric of our, marriage.
I would say that our faith has grown deeply because of some tragedy. Not long into dating Melanie, this is public knowledge if you listen to the podcast. Melanie's brother committed suicide. Extremely, obviously difficult situation when her family was torn apart and she was dealing with something that was devastating. Here I am dating her for weeks.
Well, a year.
A year.
It was short. A year ain't long.
I was not dating her long. I wasn't engaged.
You were.
And I'm here. I'll tell you, this is some knucklehead thinking, but I'm thinking this. If I get married to her and have kids, does that make my kids more likely to be someone that might commit suicide? That's I'll be real with you. I'm thinking to myself, should I break up with her now? But man, I'd be a bad guy. I broke up because of that. That's stupid. I share that with you because even 28 years ago, the suicide and what was all around that, it was a different era back then. Very different, right? The stigma that was around that. I share it with you because I know several people in this room have been impacted by suicide. It could have torn us apart because of that that time when she lost her brother Matthew at the age of 20. But our faith, ultimately, it came back to faith and going to church and praying and getting her through that time. That's when my love really started to deepen through that tragedy of like, no, I remember talking to my brother Paul and said, he's like, by the way, every family has mental illness. The Durkins are no different. Like everyone's got it and it can happen to anybody. So that's not a reason. And Donna Dickinson, you know who Donna Dickinson is? My first client at Fitness Quest 10, she came to me when I opened Fitness Quest 10 and she said, what are you waiting for? Like, what do you need? Why aren't you marrying that girl? Because I wasn't married or engaged when I met Donna and I was dating her. And she goes, there's no perfect person out there because you're not perfect either. I picked Donna, and just a couple weeks later, I was engaged. Donna Spurts. In a coincidence that Mindy Ohms, Donna Dickinson's daughter, is in the house. Mindy, raise your hand in the song. Mindy. They're here, okay, because Donna introduced Mindy to us, and obviously now what Mindy and her family are doing is awesome. So, Mindy, thank you for everything you're doing. Clayton, for 20 years old, you're in the house learning and soaking it all in. Love you, brother. Thank you. But that's all our faith grew. Because of the connections of some woman named Donna Dickinson saying, what are you waiting for? What are you doing?
Well, she's about the wisest woman you could ever imagine being in the room with. She's so wise. She has so much wisdom.
True.
And she always has. And she's such a great role model. Yeah, for sure.
And Donna brings us back to FQ10, which is another question I was thinking about because I think this relates to a lot of us. Obviously, FQ10 was Todd's dream. And you've got your own professional goals and your own personal goals, both of you. And a lot of us in the rural, two parents working hard, trying to succeed in the way that we want to, but also trying to combine shared goals and family goals. How have you worked together to honor your personal goals in light of the fact that you've got all of these moving parts and also to have those shared goals and balancing all of that out? How do you balance all of that?
We don't always very well, but we try. My mantra for a long time, honestly, it's just now changing, was divide and conquer. And I didn't have the freedom to come for 3 nights to Montana for a retreat when I had the 3 kids at home. And he traveled. There were years where he traveled a lot. And I was like, I was just holding down for it. I couldn't, I've a little bit with them, but not as much as I wouldn't have wanted to. It just was unrealistic. I didn't have anybody to watch my kids. I couldn't leave. And then I was juggling my work schedule. So divide and conquer. I kind of took a big chunk of part of our life that was really important that we needed to have, managed. I was actually listening to a podcast and they use this analogy of a kite. And that you need somebody like to anchor and ground the kites. One side is anchoring and grounding, and one side is flying and soaring. And, we're lucky that my personality was like my favorite place to be is home. And my favorite people to be around are my kids and my family. So that's not a hard thing for me to do. That's really easy. I'm not missing out on anything. I enjoy myself when I come and it's great, but I'm not missing out. If that's what I am doing for the weekend, if he's, doing a mastermind retreat or something, I never had a problem with that. So.
And you mentioned that that's changing.
And that is changing. There's no one home. Big empty house. Not yet, actually. We got 8 months, but it's changing. And so, this whole IXP San Diego, it's a little surreal because when we opened Fitness Quest 10, we were dating. We had no kids. I was a big part of it. I was our only Pilates instructor for probably the first 2 years. I didn't teach yoga back then, but then I would do privates and sessions. Donna was work with Donna 3 times a week. And, I would teach at the college until 2, and I'd come over at Fitness Quest 10 and do a 4 to 7 or 4 to 8 shift. And that was just what we did for the first few years. And then every baby we brought home, I was like, the second job is killing me. So we fired myself. Thanks, McKenna was a newborn. And I was like, I don't even ask me what's up. Like, I'm done. I'm touching at the college. I don't want to teach anymore. So yeah, now I'm coming back to, working, figuring out my role. I'm going to do a couple of front desk shifts. I'm excited about that. I'm going to coach. I'm going to teach. I'm going to just be on staff. It was kind of weird to not be on staff. I didn't like that feeling as it kind of went on. Because I had been on staff, and then I was just in the background, kind of hearing everyone bouncing ideas off of me and hearing everything, all the behind the scenes stuff. But I wasn't really technically on staff, so I'm going to technically be on staff. I don't know what my title.
Well, I didn't even know that you're on the top back there. I think it's great. I think you can give yourself any title you want. You earn it. Right? I'm going to I don't know. Very fun to think of. There is this big change coming up because McKenna is graduating, and there's going to be a moment here. 8 class in front. There's some things that you're looking forward to, it sounds like. What are you most nervous about or scared about for that change?
Yeah, I don't know. I've done it twice now. Those boys went off to the East Coast. They, went far away, and that's not easy, but it's this bittersweet. Gosh, you just want the people you love to be doing well, having adventures and challenges and friends and just all of it, the whole thing. And both of the boys are getting that. And so I'm thrilled. I'm just so happy for them. I'm happy with their busyness and their full lives, and I miss them to death, but I'm like, it's okay because they're doing what they should be doing. So I'm hoping that I feel the same way when McKenna's gone. So, and then, she's going to play lacrosse. And when we went back, we saw, a lot of football games in North Carolina with Luke. And so I think that will, that'll happen again. That gets you out there more to, follow the season and see the games and stuff.
There is not a chance it'll be the same. Kenna and Melanie are attached at the hip. They spending more time together as mother and daughter than I've ever seen. It's kind of like I was really close to Luke and Brady, and she's really close to McKenna, and it's not going to be the same as Luke and Brady.
Sorry. There's a chance that I just fall flat on my face. There's a chance it's your gut. You're allowed to have them most.
Why the Harris family's going to get sick and tired of seeing us, because it wasn't by design that we are going to be in Charlotte a lot, because it wasn't by design that our kids all would end up in North Carolina. The only rule I had growing up is you're not going to college in California.
Gosh, you used to say that
all the time. From the time they were little, it's nothing against California.
Yeah.
Get out and then experience a different part of the country, because it's reality. When you travel, you learn, and you're not allowed to go to, and I meant it.
Yeah.
I would tell you go East Coast, Midwest. Where are you? You're not going to school in California. And
you can't get in.
They couldn't. And he went, to North Carolina, so they couldn't have got any further. The other thing I will say about Melanie is, she spent now almost 28 at the college.
Yeah, 29 years.
29 years she's been a teacher professor at a community college in San Diego. She drives 40 minutes each way. That's been a commitment. Speaking of when Riley was speaking of commitment earlier on, she's a tenured professor that 40 minutes each way to go teach kinesiology, exercise science, and she'll have some activity classes as well. But you think about that, it's been awesome. I'm so proud of her, because she cares about the businesses, but she had her own thing, her independence, because that was her identity. And when you go down there, she's a rock star down there at the college. It's really cool to see her community, how much they love her and the impact she's had. But that's not really a public thing. right? It's not like it's out on social media on that. So she's had her own impact on thousands of young students that have done great things, and no one would know that. But she's ready to, maybe within a few years, based on what Dex says when she can retire someday. But I'm really proud. I'm really proud of that commitment as a teacher, and we have teachers in the room because she's had a great career in teacher, right? And she's excited about the next step. But I want to say congratulations to you on that. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Let's get to some more specifics, because I think people want to know. Let's get a little more detail here.
Hey guys, Todd Durkin here. I want to talk about the TD Mastermind Group. If you're a fitness professional, you're a trainer, you're a coach, and you're looking to get to the next level professionally and personally, this is the opportunity to step into your best level right now. And I challenge you, when you think about your vision for the next year or 3, you can't keep doing what you've always been doing and expecting a different result. If you want change, then you must change. And the TD Mastermind Group can help you create the changes that are necessary and expedite the timing so that you can be the best version of yourself right now. My friends, the Todd Durkin Mastermind Group is all about helping you be that best version of yourself. Between live retreats, monthly calls, ongoing coaching, and all that happens inside the Mastermind Group, this is your opportunity right now to step into that. Now, we do have a big retreat for the platinum level, our highest level, coming up at the end of March 26th to the 29th. So if you're in the platinum level group, you can come into that retreat. Otherwise, we have, of course, our big annual retreat. We have ongoing live events, as well as every month we have 1 to 2 calls where our group comes together and really goes deep on all facets of business, on leadership, on marketing and branding, on training itself, and of course, personal growth and development. If you're looking to become the best version of yourself, wait no longer. Don't be on the sidelines any longer. And man, like I'm on an island all by myself, or I don't have the juice that I need. I pour into everyone else and no one pours into me. If that's you and you're feeling like you need a swift kick in the backside and you're looking for some sustainable juice, this is your opportunity. Give it a try, and I promise you that you're going to love it. Hop into the Todd Durkin Mastermind Group right now. You can simply go to todddurkinmastermind.com or todddurkin.com and take a look at all of that action. And then you can schedule a call, hop on a call with one of my coaches, and find out what's the best fit for you. Check it out today, todddurkin.com, and I'll see you on the inside.
What's the hardest thing about living with Todd? People want to know.
No.
Am I right?
Lately, I know. Lately, he has been on the phone all day long. Literally all, like, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. He's on the phone. And McKenna and I will just, like, look at each other like, oh, again. He's on the phone. He takes so many calls and meetings, and then he'll still just chat with friends. Like, he'll call his buddies, and I'm just thinking, wow, how does he talk to people all the time? I like have to we're so different in this way. I have to like put on my to-do list, like, call your brother or call. I will make 3 phone calls today. I hate talking on the phone. So yeah. But we have just different personalities. Very different personalities. So what's the best part then? Well, his very different personality just brings so much to our family. He's so fun. He brings so many amazing people because he's such a people person. So our network of people, family, friends, people we've been close to is big and great and rich and just so full of just people that make you better. You know, I mean, you guys met Christian last. I just such great people. Just everybody in this room it's just it's such a blessing to the house. Luke is kind of a mix of Todd and myself. He's not it's very different than Todd in that way, but he's I'm noticing with him, he's going to a lot of networking, and he's got a lot of like, I got dinner at this guy's house, this lawyer's house, he's starting to do more of that. I didn't see that in him before. It wasn't like that in high school. And he's starting to do more of that networking and just connecting with people, which is great. Brady was just always been a spitting image of Todd. He's just exactly like Todd in every way. And McKenna is more like me, but she'll change probably too, because Flick's change. So it's just it's good. It's we shouldn't be exactly like that. To be called it not a good thing.
Too many Melody.
Yes, probably many Melodies. I have two Todds, and they only would be much.
Melody, is there anything that scares you for Todd? So many things going on in his life. So I don't think
I don't want him to have a stroke before I'd expel. Yeah, I got that. Gosh, you are working from like mornings and late at night. No, I just support him. I hope that, he, what he sets his goals on and his dreams on, he can, make happen, which he does. He brings to life all the time. So our goals, I'm not a dreamer like he is. He's such a dreamer, and he'll ask me, and I'm like, no, I dream. It's for dinner tonight, and you will cook dinner, so I dreamed as you get out in the yard this week. That's an else for I'm just for different in that way, but his goals and dreams align with me so well. Like, he was the one that fell in love with the mountains. I was like, I like the mountains. Of course, who doesn't like the mountains? I love the beach. I don't know. Do I need a mountain house? No, really, it's never been like on any kind of list that I've made. But then I get here and I'm like, oh my gosh, absolutely. We'll put it on the list. This is great. I love the mountains. I fall in love with, I typically will fall in love with what he'll fall in love with. So we're very in sync that way. He'll definitely lead the charge because that's just not my personality, but it usually is just what I need.
And what are you most excited for him about?
I'm excited to see what he can do with this San Diego location again. I am. I'm excited about him getting that back. It was, I supported the sale of the business, and it's great, and sold it to the best guy on the planet. I love Jeff, and he's just been fantastic, superstar. But then you kind of, it cut kind of deep when he started putting on his, closing Jeff Bristol owner fitness muscle. Is that owner? Because, he's not, like, it's things change, and we just kind of became these like grandparents. He's just doing things. He's changing the look, and he's just making all these changes. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that has been it was a little bit hard. But so I'm looking forward to kind of being able to we weren't ready to just be fully retired. He's got so much more years left of just like, going hard and working day to day. So I'm looking forward to, it's not a do-over, but just kind of like round two, like, hey, what did we learn? What do we want to change? We did it. Man, we did it for 23 years. We're still there. But there was a long time of making a lot of business decisions. And so I think we're going to kind of come in a little, obviously older and wiser. And I'm looking forward to that.
Exciting, really exciting. All right, Todd, let's give you a chance because we need to learn a little more about Melody too. So a couple questions for you.
No, like?
No, I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite part about Melody and not her character?
Her smile. Her smile. I love her smile. It's radiant. It brings joy to me when I see her smile, her teeth, and just smile. It softens my eye just whenever I see her smile. That's her spirit. Melanie spends a lot of time in quiet time. I'll come up at night. She's in bed reading her Bible, and she's devout in her discipline to listen to her Bible app nightly. She's in the Word, praying, and she's incredible in that way.
Is there something about her that we should know that we don't know?
I'd say this. It's interesting. I was talking about earlier this morning about seasons and how they change. Melanie and I went to prison about a month ago to go do some work with Bob Goff, if you've been following the story at all. And that was somewhat life transformative to go to the penitentiary and go serve inside of the gates. She said, I am not going to prison now. I'm not. I'm like, no, hun, I really want to go. Miles asked me years ago. I said, no, I want to go to prison and I want to go inside. And she supported and came with me. When we walked away from that place, we both had the longest conversation about how our foundation needs to step up and do more. The Impact Foundation. And she's talked about it for years, about wanting to be more behind the scenes with Impact Foundation. We have the nonprofit 501c3, and all we do is whoever wants to, give some money and 100% goes back. But she's always talked about becoming a little more sophisticated on the foundational side. Leaving prison, it became real that whether it's about mental health and suicide prevention, whether it's going in, creating something like this for the inmates, where they're getting educated, so when they're released, they could be good neighbors, as they say at San Quentin. So God's still working on that. But I know when you ask about Melanie, her heart and soul is like speaking right now, like, how can we do a better job serving through the foundation? I don't even know what that looks like yet, but starting like in December, when we start to work on our strategic plans, we're going to put more time into 2026 of what can we do from a foundational level to make it even better. It's good now, and we scholarship some kids from high school to college, and we do some things. But how do we make it a bona fide, legitimate foundation? We can raise a lot more money, give a lot more back, and do just even better things. And she's the one behind that, saying we got to do that. It's kind. Like, we just need to find a team of people that can actually help us do it. But she wants to be more involved in that. So those are compliments, Kelli.
It's actually just teaching college classes. We just create these online modules, and these prisoners, in order to get out, and there are lots of them getting out, they have to do these certifications. And so we have so many amazing certifications like coaching, we have so many great programs that we could actually it wouldn't be too difficult to create a fully online coaching module that they could complete, get credit for completing. It's only going to be beneficial. When we were there, Todd offered about 5 of the jobs that we're getting out. So I was like, oh yeah, it's like your 5th person. Yes. But it's a possible career path, being a personal trainer, or a life coach or something.
Came up yesterday, but I believe in second chances. Jeff Bristol, if you know him, needed a second chance, maybe third. And I gave him that chance, and look at him now. Travis Barnes needed a second chance. Look at him now. There's a lot of people in this room who have had second chances. I'm a big believer in redemption stories. I think that's why my boyhood hero, Rocky Balboa. I love Rocky. I met Sly. I worked with him on Strong. Like, I'm okay with people screwing up one time. I want to help people with redemption stories. Like, everyone's got goodness in them. When this young man who was 30 years old, good-looking young man, an inmate, sat in this circle just like you guys are having, I was looking, and this guy, we were facilitating one of the circles, and this young man said, when I get out of here in 10 years, I'll be eligible when I'm 40. I only want 2 things. I want a house someday and a wife. Kids. Do you think I can have that? I said, 100% you can have that. He's like, but man, like, my family's, they're alcoholics. I grew up abused and I didn't have a chance. I'm like, oh, it starts today. I'm going to send you a book. You're going to start reading. And for the next 10 years, you're going to do everything you can. So when you come out in 40, you can get a wife. You can get a house, and you can do more than that. Because think about the number of people you can change just with that mindset of in 10 years, you have a dream, you have hope. You talk about hope yesterday, we talk about hope this morning. You have hope. Like, what is it? I believe that guy is going to do something great with his life, but there's got to be people speaking life into these folks who need a second chance, need a redemption story. And that's where I'm being called on that side. And all of us, I'm sure, have redemption stories in some way personally, or people who have. But I love those kind of stories like Travis and like Jeff and like KT. There's so many people. Like
Damon West.
Damon.
Yeah.
Damon spoke not 2020, right for the pandemic. You're gonna hear from another one tomorrow. I guys. Yeah. I would go on that equal.
Excellent. I'm going to open it up for 2 questions, and then I have one final question before we wrap up today. Who's got a question in the back? I can't see.
Okay. So here's my question. I don't get easy salt bucks. So here you go. If you were in charge of writing your own obituary and you wanted to make yourself proud of that obituary, what do you have left to accomplish in your life to add to that obituary to create that pride?
Great question. I think it's kind of going to come from what Todd was just talking about, which is using our Durkin Impact Foundation in just a little smarter way, just going a little bit deeper with that. And, we've been scholarshiping, high school athletes to go to college, and they need it. And they're privileged kids going to college, champagne problems, right? They don't have enough money to get there. We give them a little bit of help, but I'd like to be able to do more than that. And that's where, going into the prisons and offering people who really, have so much less. I'm all about just giving back. I think to whom much is given, much is required. And I completely live that and, parent my kids that way and stuff. So I think it's just about just continuing to just give and give and just rare kind of be useful and, just kind of reinvent myself as far as I taught for 30 years, but now I can do it in this way, just kind of pivot a little bit. So I'm definitely have many, many more years of contributing. For sure.
My tombstone statement says Todd F. Durkin, Todd freaking Durkin, March 21st, 1971, theory, November 11th, 2082. I'll be 110 years old on 10/10, 2082. Coach, leader, father, husband, life transformer, inspired millions of people to greatness. I've changed and updated that now to 100 million people to greatness. I'm not sure how that's done, other than living in the moment, in the sense of, I know IXP at Fitness Quest 10, I had one great shop, and we impacted a city, right, in township in Scripps Ranch. But as my vision, because of the valley I was talking about this morning, grew, then now it's like lighthouses everywhere, lighthouses. We need more light in here. We're going to light this place up. So I believe that in 10 years from now, if we're sitting here, I envision lighthouses all over the country that are lit up with faith, fitness, recovery, coaching, and people are just like this, having retreats all over the country on a regular basis, and all being touched positively because of what's being done. And there might be some young people in here that's something they're going to open those lighthouses up. But to me, that's God's plan, and I'm trying to walk in it. And when I spoke yesterday of legacy and how I even got to Whitefish, Montana, is that Morgan in the back? Come in here, Morgan. So I spoke yesterday about the man named Stacy Smith, right? Y'all heard that name? It's because that's why we're here in Whitefish on our 6th retreat, because of legacy on the land, I call it. How can I spend half the time here in Whitefish, Montana, leading retreats and coaching in that? To me, when we look back someday, it's because of the connection that Drew on field number 2 of Fitness Quest 10 led me to Stacy Smith. And then that dream grew. And then working with Stacy and his daughter back there, Morgan, the way we have Morgan, very good. She just popped in the last 4 or 5 years being out here. My vision grows when I'm in the mountains. It grows. Again, I don't know if you're in the mountains or the beach, whatever. When I'm on that property, we go with some of you out there the other day, and you're looking at that. Take a journal out there, open up a book at Waterfall Park. What goes in my notebook is D. So I'm not sure what's going to end up happening, but I know the vision continually expands, not contracts. Not in contract mode, I'm in expand mode until the good man up top says, well done, good faithful servant, your time is up. The guy I look at in the mirror up there, my twin, I don't have a twin, but my twin I'm going to meet someday, it better look exactly like me. Otherwise, I've fallen short of not setting up to the potential that God put in me, just like you, whatever the potential you have that God imparted in you. Are you stepping into the best woman you can be, the best man you can be? And for me, I'm like, I need to step up and serve because you want to die empty. I want to die empty. I want to die tired that I gave everything I had on the field to strike, and I'm good because I'll go rest in heaven. So on that.
One more question, Tim.
All right, so a two-pronged question here, and this is coming from a father, a 3-year-old, and a. So I want you to think back to when the Ray became our first younger, like first years. What was the most important conversation that you two had during that time, and then almost 25 years later, what's been the most important conversation had recently? 2 different days with the kids or with each other? Yeah. In navigating having 3 or 1 to 2, all that during that time, what you guys were doing, what you were doing in your careers, figuring out, okay, I'm going to stay home, you travel, you go in states. What did that conversation look like? What do you think was supposed to pull the conversation out?
I think just staying on the same page. I would be home with them, many, many more hours than Todd was, especially in the early days of Fitness Quest 10. So just staying on the same page with discipline and with expectations and not teaming it against each other. And that can be hard sometimes if one of the kids is getting in the middle of us, if we have different opinions. So just working through that and trying to remain a team, and then the kids are separate in an easier said than done. And just kind of picking my battles that, something needs to be addressed, not letting it fester and not, ruminating and not talking about it, but just like being open and communicating quickly. And then just letting things go they're really not that important. But it's chaos back then. It's hard, and it's every day is like can be survival mode. I remember we went to a marriage retreat. Oh gosh, Luke was difficult. He was like, he was young. I think Luke was like 8 years old or something. And I was just like a wreck. I was a frazzled wreck. And I was crying, and it's just a little hill. And I came back, I needed to get away, and I needed to be poured into, and I needed to, it was like a 2.5-hour drive to this retreat. I just like dumped on Todd and unloaded about, you got to be stronger with that kid. And I need this guy. I need some backup with him. And we did. I mean, Luke was really not that difficult of a kid, but there's some of those ages that were just so hard.
Do you remember that retreat she's talking about? It was in Palm Desert. I love speaking in the car and talking in the car. We're driving. The next thing I know, you remember, we saw a sign that said, "Welcome to Arizona." I just kept driving. I was like, this is great. I said, "Welcome to Arizona." I just went right by Palm Springs, but we're talking all the deep stuff. I'm like, yeah. He made it for this to turn. I'll say this. To answer your question, who are these kids that are like 5 years old or younger? So about, 10, 15 people in the room. I gotta say, those were the toughest years of parenting, I think, at least for me, because maybe I was too much of a knucklehead, or it was just really busy, but I want to say I prioritized Fitness Quest 10 and speaking and growing my career. But I think our hardest times were then. Like, I remember a couple disagreements we got into, and I'm thinking to myself, not good thoughts. I'm like, I just like run to this. Like, is this worth it? Like, like my self-talk, thinking, no way. Weren't a lot, but there were a few. And I think at the end of it, it's about the kids. And you got to prioritize that. It's no longer about you. To answer your question, the conversations between us to work through those tough times when the kids were young, Tim, your kids' ages, was hard. And I think what all the way back, that priest said way back in the day, he goes, when you have kids someday, it's a triangle. And you're at the bottom, she's at the bottom, and it's all pointing up to God. If you put your focus on God and you make your relationship about God, it's about a relationship, not about a religion. I still remember in 1999, 2000, we were going through these classes with him, hearing that's still stuck in back. Okay, we need to get back to like praying together and spending more time in prayer, not just making about what I want or what she wants, because that's when you just start going de facto. And the other one was, so that conversation was then. The one now, I think happens on walks quite a bit, is because we reflect on our kids and how proud we are of them, because your kids will grow up. What is it? Proverbs 22:6. It talks about kids will not depart from the ways that you taught them when they grow up. And I think we instill some great values, but they're doing good things. But McKenna is, a teenage girl who's getting ready to go to college. She spends a lot of time with her. I've always enjoyed coaching, especially football. I'd leave at 2:00. I'd be home at 8:00. I'd be in the weight room. I'd be on the field. I love Luke and Brady. I didn't get that with McKenna until I learned to become a girls lacrosse coach. Horrible girls lacrosse coach. And I ain't doing it for girls lacrosse. I'm doing it to spend time with her and her friends. Right. So right now, like, I'm the girls lacrosse coach. I don't know anything about girls lacrosse. Okay? Horrible. It is I always say we're gonna be the best conditioned team off it. You want to like hit her. What's it figure out? Hit push a girls across. I'm used to boys across, and you can, as Kelly Young, who's got a professional lacrosse player son, like I watched that now. So with McKenna, I'm like learning this, but I'm valuing the time, and the conversation with Melanie and I now is more about like where the kids are at. And most recently, like she shared, I'm on the phone a lot. It's because I'm in the middle of a sprint with IXP. I have a dream. Like, I am so alive on the inside right now. Like, I haven't been alive since like year 2000, like what I'm looking to create and where I doesn't create. And our team is tasked with this. But ultimately, it's got me so alive again in creating this. We all walk our own walks, but I'm so excited for what's about to become. So our conversations now are about kids going out, and we're growing this baby up to ultimately be the flagship station for what will be hundreds of lighthouses nationwide.
So I want to wrap it up with a question that I think is a good question for everyone in this room to consider. And I think it'll be an interesting one for each of us to think about. So I'm going to fast forward to 2082. Because Todd will still be alive, even though most of the rest of us won't be. But Todd's going to be here, and Melanie will be right beside him, of course. And I want you to think about the last day of your life, whenever that is. And if you had the opportunity to speak to your spouse or significant other on that last day of your life, what is it that you want to say to them? In this case, Melanie, what would you like to say to Todd about the life you created together?
I think I'll say, we did good. We worked hard, and we did good, and we gave a lot, and we're leaving a lot, and it's time for better. It's time for heaven. Make heaven crowded is it's just said this as somebody just read in real life. What was it? Riley. Was it Riley? Okay. That wasn't the first time. I just heard it a couple of days ago too, but, and I want that. I want to just feel like I'm going to be reunited with so many people. And that's the goal, was just make heaven crowded and be going where we want. We've been our goal the whole time.
I would say, Thank you. For your support, especially 2020 through 2023, all the time, but going through hell and redefining a dream. I had a great wife for 25 years. It's easy to have a good partner, spouse, significant other when times are good. But when times are bad, I summon my foxhole that served me like I can't even imagine. Like, she was by my side, lifting me up without her saying it. She was there and listening. And I was in a dark place, like I shared. I say thank you. Thank you for getting me through that time. And I'm glad that we were able to spend the next 50 years doing even more miraculous things. I say I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't spend even more time. That I probably shouldn't have worked as much. But it was never about my mission. It was about where we're going, right? It was God's purpose on that, because we could never get enough time with our loved ones. So I would say that. And I'd say again, thank you for blessing us with 3 great kids. Because at the end of the day, we understand that's all that matters is the kids, family, the legacy. And hopefully here, for generations to come, whatever's created from us and from each of you when we're done is that it goes beyond our life. And it does motivate me, Kelli, to think about that. Most people doesn't. I want 3 generations from now saying, who was this dude, Todd Durker? What was that all about? And what are these books about? Because when I look at the world today, I want them to look back like I would look back and study with my mentors and say, this is how you should do it. This is the way you could walk to live the kind of life that you want to live. So I say thank you to Melanie for always supporting me, encouraging me, loving me, and for blessing us with 3 great children, because that's what it's all about. Stan.
Thank you both.
Wow. Oh, wow. I hope you enjoyed that interview right there. Just so much love shared in that room with 110 people there in Whitefish that beautiful afternoon. And it was an honor to be part of that and have Kelli interview us with some just great questions. But I promised in the beginning I was going to share my top 5 memories, my top 5. And I got a lot more to create, so this isn't like an end all. But when I reflect back on 25 years, beside the actual marriage itself and the reception and all of that, like that's into its own world, right? That's a great memory. But in the last 25 years, there's been so many great things. And number one, we took a 2-week European vacation with the entire family when the kids were young. And that was one of my fondest memories. And that was tied to a Perform Better trip, believe it or not, Perform Better Germany. And there were so many just awesome aspects of the trip, from eating new food and the kids not used to all the folks who were smoking over there. And they were like choking out. And we went to Italy and Austria after. And, you think about that trip and the memories that were created. To this day, we still talk about, these hotels that we stayed in and the fine meals that we had. But again, family. The second aspect happened to be another trip. It was just a few years ago, actually. It was our first trip as a family to Whitefish, Montana, and to the beautiful homestead. And we love the homestead out there in Whitefish and all the great people associated with the homestead. But what happened on that was it was New Year's Eve and we're getting ready to fly back to San Diego, and we got word that our flight was canceled and that we couldn't get back for another 5 days. We were snowed in for 5 extra days on our vacation. And at first everyone was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And all of a sudden I was like, this is great. We just got an extra 5 days of vacation in Whitefish, Montana. People would die for this. And our trip about doubled in length. And it was just an absolutely epic, awesome time. Why? We were all together. We were all under one roof. And it was away. It was away from the hubbub. We were in the mountains, and we could think, and we could dream, and we could talk about life, and just so special. The third one I'll say is the Super Bowl. And Melanie and I went down to Miami, Florida, and Drew Brees actually won the Super Bowl that year. And I say that and share that because that was a culmination of a lot of things for us as a couple, because we both had been working our tail off. The year was 2010. It was February of 2010 after the 2009 season. And to go down and see Drew after everything he had been through, and, you know, we all poured our heart into helping him do his thing. But then to get away and have that week down in Miami just to have some fun in preparation. I was doing work with Under Armour there, and it was one of those special just us two as a couple down there having fun. That would definitely be top 5. Also, number 4 of my 5, I'm going to say Strong. When I did NBC Strong primetime TV, and you're probably like, well, yeah, but what did Melanie have to do with that? Well, she had everything to do with it, because she was home with 3 young kids while I was away for 3 months with no phone. Like, I think about it now, I kind of chuckle. I'm like, man, I can't believe that she actually even let me do that. And I never forget her encouragement, like, no, you have to do this. This is what you're built to do. And she buckled down the fort, and these kids were young at the time. This was 2016 and 17. And man, I just think of those epic times over the 25 years on Strong. And then lastly, number 5, to no surprise, it's the kids, man. It's the kids. You know, they're growing up quick. Jeez. We're about to lose our baby McKenna to college here in August. And it's crazy when you think of 25 years of marriage. Our oldest is now 23, Luke, who's down at University of South Carolina in law school. And then we got Brady at High Point University. He's 20 years old, and McKenna is going to High Point to play lacrosse and, of course, go to school. And these kids are growing up, and we're embarking upon a new season of our relationship as empty nesters coming up. But, you know, you think about all the memories with the kids, and our purpose on this planet is to empower and inspire our kids to go off and do whatever they're designed to do. That's part of what makes us tick. But I share that because when I reflect upon 25 years of marriage, I always joked to everyone else, say, man, you sure out-punted your coverage. Well, I was a punter in high school and college, and besides a quarterback, and I definitely outpunted my coverage with Melanie because way back in that summer, I believe it was, of 1997, when I met Melanie in that meeting, little did I know that she was going to become my wife. But it was just, you know, weeks after that she was also the group exercise instructor, and I was the racquetball instructor, weight room instructor, and I was the one walking to her room because she was the step aerobics. And I'm like, man, that girl's got some beautiful calves, and what a smile, checking her out. And here we are 25 years later, and she's just as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside. And I'm one grateful, fortunate man on this. And I want to thank you for celebrating 25 years with us this week. I don't take that lightly. I don't take that for granted, because when you have a family that is able to stay together and work together on that, it's never easy. And I'll be the first to admit it's never easy. And there's a lot of things that can distract you from staying together and being a loving family. But I sure am grateful that we're celebrating 25 years of marriage. So Melanie, happy anniversary to you. Thank you all for listening into today's episode, our 25-year wedding anniversary episode. I hope you enjoyed the interview. I hope you enjoyed some of those points at the end. Until next time, remember, train hard, eat right, live inspired, go love someone really big this week, and keep creating impact. God bless y'all. Love you.